Dajahao, my name is Garrick, and welcome back to Taiwan, Laowai. So our first day in Taichung continues, and man, I am stuffed from that meal. It's probably a good thing we have to wait a while for the hotel to check us in, because it means I get to walk around a bit and burn off some of those calories. So it's about 12:40 now. The hotel will let us in at 4, so we've got over 3 hours to spend exploring. We are going to stay pretty close to the hotel. I don't want to stray too far, but there are a whole bunch of things we can cross off our itinerary in the meantime. So we're just going to wander around central Taichung. We're going to take in the sights of the city, and we'll see where our footsteps take us. Sound good? Good. So we're actually at our first stop right now. This is the start of the Shinsei Green Waterway. There's this little stream that runs throughout the main body of Taichung, and you can walk down it, see the sights, catch a little river breeze. I imagine it would be even more beautiful in the spring or summer with all the trees and flowers blooming. But even now, I gotta say, this weather is genuinely really nice. It was winter in Taiwan when I left, but just a couple hours down here, it feels more like spring, or maybe even, God forbid, early summer. In other words, the perfect weather for a stroll. Ooh, there are people eating under there. Interesting. Interesting. So this looks like the east end of the Shinsei Waterway right here. You go that way, it pretty much disappears into the bigger city by the looks of it. Taichung is honestly the most circular city I've seen in Taiwan. It really is sort of built in concentric rings around itself. And we're pretty much smack dab in the middle of those rings right now, but there's plenty of stuff to do around the peripheries as well. And thanks to how much time we're spending here, we are gonna have a chance to see a lot of it. God, I'm starting to wonder if I should have brought different clothes. I only packed my long sleeves and my long pants because my mind was still in Taoyuan weather mode, where it's very cold and chilly and muggy. But if the weather in Taichung is gonna be this sunny the whole time, I should have brought some shorts. Oh well, whatever the case, we will make do. So we're gonna head back down west on the Shinsei, but before we get too far, there is one point of interest along the way that I want to check out. And it is food related, so I better get my stomach ready. Alright folks, feast your eyes on Miyahara. This is one of the most legendary sweet shops in the city. It's built in this gorgeous historic building, and I can already see it living up to its reputation. There are just rows and rows of delicious looking nonsense here. We got fudge, we got chocolates, we got candies, we got what looks like cookies over here. Oh my gosh. Now thank God I have my dessert pocket still open, because I am salivating already. But we're not here for any of these just yet. We are here for the ice cream. Miyahara is best known for its ice cream parlor, and I love ice cream, so there's no way that I am not going to check that out. Also, it looks like the ice cream is technically in the next building over, so give me a second. my god. Look at this thing. Okay, I gotta talk super quick before this melts. So this is the full Monty. This is the triple scoop with sundae fixins and 3 free toppings. The flavors I got were a scoop of lychee ice cream, a scoop of Taiwanese vanilla strawberry, which is one of their signature flavors, and a scoop of honey cheese. And it looks like they may have just given me a massive blob of vanilla as well. Maybe that's what the sundae part of this sundae is. So this delicious looking sugary butterfly and the strawberries came free. The 3 toppings I chose were this little piece of cheesecake, a classic Taiwanese pineapple cake, and a drizzle of vanilla honey. And this is already melting because it's so hot. I can't wait. I need to dig in. Down the fucking hatch, lads. Ooh. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that was the honey cheese. Let's try the lychee next. That's a much milder flavor, but still very nice. And of course, this signature vanilla strawberry. God. Man. I want to say more, but I'm worried about this melting entirely, so I'm just gonna scarf this down and talk more about it later if that's okay with you. Peace. Alright, quick update as I'm digging into this thing. I was a little mistaken. This one on the bottom is the honey, whatever, the honey cheese. So I think this over here is actually a big old scoop of frozen mashed taro. Which is kind of nuts because I'm usually not a fan of taro, but this is the tastiest mashed taro I've ever had. Maybe more people should make it like super cold, super silky ice cream. Maybe that's the way to do it. God, my stomach is going to make me regret that. Still worth it. See, this is a strategy where we're stocking up on food supplies right now, so we won't need to eat again until super late at night. Because that way we can crash for a while and then justify a trip to one of those night markets that's open really late. See? I'm planning. I have strategy. I should also mention that the cost of that monstrosity was $3.55 NTD. You can absolutely get cheaper options for less ice cream, so don't worry. Alright, so we're gonna head east on the Shinsei waterway a little while longer. At some point it splits off south and starts really going out of the way, so we're not gonna follow it to its terminus. I don't even know if it has a terminus. It might just flow until it reaches the ocean. But we'll follow it a while longer, we'll wear ourselves out, and hopefully we will be nice and ready to flop once we get back to the hotel. Alright folks, we have found our way to the National Taiwan Museum of Comics. And I did not expect it to be a mostly outdoor pavilion space like this, but I am not complaining. This is a very picturesque place for a museum. So I'm gonna grab some tickets or whatever and we're gonna explore for a bit and eat up an hour or two. Oh man, I just took a nap in the shade. I feel so refreshed. God, I cannot stress enough, the weather today is frickin' amazing. According to the forecast, it might go a bit back and forth, warm and chilly all week, but it does not seem like there will be much rain, if any rain at all. And I hope that stays true, because if the weather is close to this all week, I will be a very happy man. Also, let's take a moment and appreciate the beauty of this garden space. We got flowers, we got bamboo, we got this, I think it's a giant banyan tree. I've said it before and I'll likely say it again, but this city really is flippin' gorgeous. So that was a really cool little museum. I wonder if any of those comics have English translations of any kind that I could scrounge up. I know most Japanese manga have some sort of translation, either official or otherwise. I wonder if there's a market for anything like that with Taiwanese comics as well, because there look like some really interesting stuff in there. Not sure what's going on here. Some sort of exhibition. Looks exciting. I always wish I was more of an artist so I could draw my own stories like that. But I've never really had the patience or the finger dexterity for it, so I must rely on hiring real and talented artists to draw my stories for me. Speaking of, have you been keeping up with the webcomic I've been publishing lately? It's called Beyond the Sable Shore. It's this really cool fantasy adventure sort of deal. I'll link it in the description for anyone who's interested. I am always willing to shill my creative projects. Regardless, there is one more site I think we can hit before it's time to head back to the hotel and crash. Possibly two, but we will see how my energy holds out. Yes. Man, that was really cool. You gotta wonder who painted all that stuff. Was it like a government project, or did the people of this community just come together and decide to plaster a bunch of iconic anime and cartoon characters on the alley walls? You know what, let's make it a challenge. Why don't you, in the comments, write down how many different shows and or cartoons or different properties you could recognize in those murals. Because there are a lot in there that I at least know by reputation, but I've never seen, and there were some, like maybe one or two that I couldn't quite place. So test your anime knowledge a little. List off all the ones you could recognize, and we'll see who has the biggest brain among us. Oof, man, I'm not gonna lie, I have been super lazy throughout most of January. It feels good to be on my feet and moving again like this. Who would have thought I needed a vacation from being lazy all the time? Alright, it's close to 3 o'clock now. We've got about an hour left before the hotel is gonna let us in. So we're gonna start snaking our way back there in preparation. I suppose we could stop at this place across the street as well, but I think it's best we save that for tomorrow, where it's supposed to be. I don't want to burn all my stops out of the way too early. So first impressions of Taichung so far, it sort of feels like wide Taipei. Like, hear me out. Taipei is a very tall city. Its buildings all stretch super far into the sky. It sort of towers all around you like mountains. It is plenty sprawling, don't get me wrong, but the overall impression it gives is a city that is building up, 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 and up. With Taichung, not so much. I haven't really seen any big skyscrapers. You know, there are plenty of tall buildings, but they're normal tall, not sky-shattering tall, if you get my drift. It just has an overall more open feel. The sky feels more readily accessible. The roadways feel more widespread and easily traversable. It's still super urban, super metropolitan, but more pedestrian-friendly in a way, if that makes sense. It's easy to get swept up in the machinery of Taipei, but here I feel more comfortable sort of walking at my own pace and experiencing things as they come. This is a really great city to just spend a lot of time in, is how I'm feeling. And that's good, because we are going to be spending a lot of time here. Well, speak of the devil, we've got another river to walk alongside. You know what? Traversing this path will probably eat it up just enough of my time to get me back to the hotel at the perfect time to check in. This is a much wider river than the last one, you can tell. It's a bit more flowing, a bit more active. I believe it's called the Liuchuan River, and it sort of cuts across the north edge of Taichung's central area, the same way that the Shinsei River way cut through the south edge. So the main area of the city really is just sort of sandwiched between these two very nice, pleasant flowing streams. That's really cool. See, this is what I mean when I talk about Taichung being more open and sort of wide spacey. Like, even just standing here in the middle of everything, the open sky is bearing down on me. Yeah, I definitely need to come back here another time as well. I need to plan another visit to Taichung once this is done, come back to all these cool places, see a bunch of new places. I'm in love with this city already, like, good God. I imagine the heat probably gets a little insufferable when the warmer months come around, but I'm sure I could manage if need be. Just gotta remember to pack shorts next time. There's an oboe player practicing in the shade under this tunnel. That's really cool. Alright, This is looking like the end of the river up ahead once again. And lucky enough, our hotel is pretty much directly south from here, so I think this is a good point to climb up back to street level, head back, and see if we can get checked into our room. Probably I'm gonna have to crash in the hotel lobby for a little bit, but hey, as long as that gets me where the fans are, I am not complaining. Man, this has been an incredible first day so far. Honestly, I sort of thought I would stagger into Taichung fairly late in the day, crash in the hotel, and just have time to do something in the evening. But no, we have made excellent time today. We got to really get out and enjoy this city for all it's worth. That said, my legs definitely need a break at this point, so we are going to flop for the afternoon. We're gonna relax, get our strength back, and later this evening when darkness falls, we should hopefully be refreshed enough to tackle a night market or two. I hope you're excited, because I sure am. So, once again, thank you for joining me at Taiwan Lao Wai. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you next time. 再见. Bye-bye!